Hi, everybody. I'm Brittany Lewis, a reporter here at Forbes. Joining me now is Harry Nelson, lawyer and author of the United States of Opioids. Harry, thanks so much for coming back on.
Brittany, thanks for having me on. Great to be with you.
I would love to get your take on some big news out of the Washington Post. The outlet's reporting that the FBI launched an investigation into the May 2025 death of Indianapolis Colts owner Jim Irsay. They're also investigating the doctor who reportedly prescribed him prescription pills and ketamine leading up to his death. At the time of Irsay's death, his family said that the 65-year-old died peacefully in his sleep. But a few months later, the Post had this explosive report that claimed Irsay, who was vocal about both his battle with addiction as well as his recovery process, relapsed and overdosed multiple times since 2020. Also, the outlet claimed that multiple people around Irsay grew really concerned about the treatment he was getting from the famed recovery doctor, Dr. Harry Haratunian, who was allegedly prescribing him opioids and ketamine leading up to his death. So to start off the conversation, there is certainly a lot of stuff there, but what do you make of the news and all of the reporting surrounding it?
I think it's not surprising that we're seeing a reopening of this. I think what we've seen is that the problem of kind of excessive prescribing, particularly of both opioids and in particular ketamine, has obviously been getting enormous attention. And what we're seeing is that the federal government sees an opportunity when it happens to be someone who is famous and rich and powerful to really grab public attention. And hopefully, I think if we're looking at it from why the government is doing this, they are deliberately focusing on this case because it's an opportunity to really galvanize public attention and hopefully get more doctors to be scrutinizing risks that they're taking with patients. And it follows obviously on the Matthew Perry case. And if we're going back in time, we could find a string of cases before pure ketamine cases, opioid and benzo cases. But it's a long time pattern on the part of the government that is clearly intended to drive public interest and provider behavior.
I want to talk about what exactly was in the federal grand jury subpoena. According to the Washington Post, who reviewed it, they said that the FBI is looking for more information on Irsay's death, as well as his, quote, substance, illegal, and prescription use, and his, quote, relationship with Dr. Harry Haratunian. So as an attorney, what exactly does that indicate to you?
Well, I think, what we see over and over again is that doctors like Dr. Haratunian are at risk of feeling that they're in a special position where ordinary patient care standards don't apply, and taking liberties because they're dealing with a clientele that has power, and so I think the government wants to look at whether standards of care were departed from, and who was involved. A lot of times, what we see is that there is a whole setup. It's not just a doctor, but there are managers and people providing housing and facilitating access to medications, nurses sometimes. And so they're going to delve into the details of exactly who was involved, like what decisions were made, and whether care was responsible. And what we unfortunately and tragically find time over time after time is that liberties being taken expose patients to risk.